Well, hey everybody, a happy Friday to you. Haven't seen you since Tuesday, and that was a fun time we had in the kitchen, so I hope you enjoyed that. But anyway, happy Friday, and we'll get on with our normal routine, our shout-outs of the day, and story time, which I'm going to turn over to Cousin Ralph, and then of course our groaner of the week. Well, our shout-outs this week, the first one is for Jersey History Hunters, and they're a couple of really nice gals. They do metal detecting and relic recovery and that, and fantastic sense of humor. And Audra has a great ability to make sound effects, so I kind of chuckled when I listened to her. Some of the noises she can make are just amazing. I asked her if she actually hired out for doing sound effects, but haven't got a response yet on that one. It probably charges more than I could afford, but that's all right. But check out Jersey History Hunters. Anyway, those are our shout-outs for today. And without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Cousin Ralph so he can tell you his story about the drugstore. Alrighty, I'll be back at the end to tell you your groaner of the week. Well, thanks there, Cousin Ian. Good to see you all. Been a while, huh? Yep, had Christmas. And heck, I ain't seen you since last year now, I think about it. Yep. First thing I want to do is just assure Shay Lynn. Now, Shay, you listening to me? I am not Cousin Ian. I know you watch the video and you say, well, that's you, Uncle Ian, or Cousin Ian, Uncle Ian. But I'm Cousin Ralph, not Uncle Ian, so don't get us confused. We're two different people. Alrighty. Well, I promised you a story about the drugstore. Yeah, well, let me tell you. Last fall, I started getting some real sharp pains in my side. Yep. And I went to see old Doc Baker. I talked about him before. And, he said I had some kind of a stone. And I said, well, I can't be stoned. I don't do drugs. I drink the good stuff out of the mason jar once in a while. But that's just getting plastered, not stoned. And he said, no, you're misunderstanding me. He said, you got a kidney stone. I said, really? Well, okay, if you say so, Doc, but what are we going to do about it? He says, well, I'm going to send you down the canyon to Bonneville to see an ologist. I said, pardon? He said, I'll send you to see a specialist down there. So he made a phone call and felt like he'd see me the next day, and Doc gave me some pills to help me make it through the night with the pain. Yeah, the next day, my sister, Polly Grip, we jumped into her Ford Fusion. We cruised on down the canyon there to Bonneville, and we went to see this doctor, Dr. Ridigar. That was it, Dr. Ridigar. And he said, I'm urologist. And I said, well, you may be now, but you weren't my ologist before. I looked at Polly, I said, is he urologist? And she said, yes, he's a urologist. Oh, you've seen him before? No, he's a urologist. Well, I just got confused, so I dropped the whole thing. So anyway, he checked me over, and then he said, I'm making a special appointment for you to get a CAT scan. And I thought, well, I'm not a cat. Why would you want to do a CAT scan? But I didn't argue with him because he's a specialist, right? So they sent me over to some big fancy veterinary building. I think it's a veterinary building. I didn't see no other animals in there, but anyway, they said they'd try and fit me in. And I thought, oh man, if this thing's for scanning cats, it's got to be pretty small. So I was kind of worried how they're going to cram me into this little thing. But when I got in the room, well, that thing was huge. I mean, they must see some pretty big cats in there. But anyway, I laid down on their little trolley bed thing, and they zipped me in, zipped me out, in and out, in and out, and hold your breath and breathe and all that kind of garbage. But anyway, whatever they did there, they said they'd send the results over to the ologist, and he'd decide what to do. In the meantime, he wrote me a script. That's what he called it. Don't ask me. I don't know why I want to play, but he said he'd write me a script. Well, what he gave me was a subscription for some pain meds. So anyway, Polly drove me back up to home, and I went to the local drugstore. Now, this is where the story starts, you see. Well, the drugstore in our town is all family drugs. It's been that way for years. It's been like 4 generations. And I went to school with the youngest all brother, His name was Rex. And when we graduated high school, he went off someplace, up to the state capitol, I think. And well, yeah, it was the state capitol, because he went to Zane Andrew Nelson Technical Institute, or Technical University, I guess. We just call it Zantech for short. Anyway, he went there and spent 4 years and got himself a degree in, what do you call it, I don't know how this works, because he's married, but it's called a bachelor's degree. How can you have a bachelor's degree when you're married? Come on, folks. Anyway, and I ran into him in the street one day, and he'd just come back, and he said, yeah, he got himself a bachelor's degree in science. And I said, well, what kind of science? And he said, well, I'm a pharmacist. I said, well, that's weird. Why do you need a degree to be a pharmacist? I've been a pharmacist most of my life. You know, when you live on the farm, you assist any way you can. So anyway, he said, no. He says, I'm going to be working in the store with my dad. And well, why would you need a degree in working on a farm to push pills in a store? Yeah, I don't know, it's beyond me, but that's the way it works apparently. So anyway, when his dad retired, he took over the store. And I mean, he's a nice guy, and he never struck me as being egotistical, but about 3 weeks after he took over the store, they put a big blue sign out in the front that said Rexall. And I thought, well, Jiminy Christmas, it's been all family drugs for years, and now you've got to put your name out front for everybody to see? Come on, man. But when I asked him about it, he said, no. He says, it's a franchise. I thought, wow, you must have more money than I thought you did to be able to have your own big franchises out there named Rexall. Anyway, I went in the store to get my script. No, what was it called? Wow, my subscription filled. Or perspiration? No. Well, whatever that sheet of paper was the doc gave me anyway, I gave that to Rex and said, here, I need to get this filled. It's okay, it'll be about 15 minutes, he says, you go look around the store. So I was wandering around the store, and darned if I just suddenly noticed at the checkout counter, there's Anna. I hadn't seen Anna for years. Yeah, she's one of the Sin girls. Her family and I were just a couple of farms apart, and there was Anna and Elka and Lori. Yeah, Anna, Elka, and Lori. And I think that was that order. I can't remember. I never always got Elka and Lori mixed up as to which one was older than the other. But anyway, Anna and I were the same age. Cute gal. She was a real tomboy when we were in school, and she'd hang out with us guys, and we'd go out just outside of town. There was a big old abandoned house. And if you stood outside the fence and threw a rock, you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life? Remember that scene where they're throwing rocks at the house and making wishes? Well, that's the kind of thing we would do. You know how kids get in trouble, right? Well, I'll tell you, Anna, she was a dead shot. I mean, people say, throws like a girl. Well, I wish I threw like a girl. If throwing like a girl's like Anna, because Anna, she never missed. I mean, the rest of us would throw rocks, and once in a while you'd hear some glass break, but most of the time you'd hear a thunk as it hit the wood or whatever. But Anna, she threw a rock, glass broke. Yeah, that Anna Sin was a real painkiller, I'll tell you. Those window panes just broke like crazy. Anyway, getting back to my story, she was there, she was at the counter, so I asked her how she was doing, and yeah, doing real good. She just moved back to town about a couple of months before and got the job there at the drugstore. And I asked her, was she married? And she said, well, she was, but she got a divorce, and that's part of the reason she moved back home, so. That got me to thinking, but that's another story for another day, right? Anyway, so I said, well, how's Elka doing? And she says, well, she got married, and she's got a couple of wee ones. And, oh, really? When did that happen? And she said, well, not too long out of high school. She said she married one of the Seltzer boys. Seltzer boys? Oh, yeah, I remember. They were from the next town over, right? And she goes, yeah. Oh, did she marry Bubba? No, Bubba's the oldest, and I think he's in prison last time I heard. No, she married the next brother down, Broma Seltzer. I don't remember him. Broma Seltzer? Yeah, she said, remember there was Bubba, Bromo, and then Bobby. Oh, okay. And she married Bromo. Yep, Bromo Seltzer, she married him. Well, that's kind of weird. And she's not Elka Sin anymore. She's Elka Seltzer. That's right, she says. Yeah, Elka Seltzer, that's her name. Well, that's always easy to remember, right? If I remember her right, she was a real bubbly gal, yeah, just sort of full of life and fun, and yeah, just real bubbly. And that would be so Alka-Seltzer, huh? Anyway, so I said, well, how's Lori doing? She says, well, funny thing. She says she's living down there in Bonneville, but she won a contest last year on the radio station and got a free trip to England. I said, really? She goes, yeah, she was over there for a few weeks and had a great time. I said, well, that's good, that's good. But the weirdest thing happened to her. I said, well, what was that? She says, well, she figured when she got back home it would be getting close to hunting season. So she decided she'd buy herself some new boots while she was over there. So she said a couple of days after she'd been there, she came down from her room in the hotel and went to the front desk, and she says, where can I find me some boots? And the person behind the reception desk there said, well, if you go out the front door and you turn right, you'll see a big sign a couple of blocks away. So Lori walked out the front door and she looked, and sure enough, down the road there, big sign said boots. So she walked down there and she walked in. She said, man, she got real confused because she walked in and there weren't no shoes in that place. She says it was all drugstore stuff. Kind of like Hall's Family Drugs, only bigger. So she said she went and asked the gal at the counter. She says, where's the shoes? I want to buy some boots. And the gal laughed and she goes, oh, no, we're a chemist shop. You need to go right across the street there. You'll see a shoe store. You can go across there and buy yourself some boots. So Lori said she was so confused when she left the shop. She got to the curb and she forgot that everything's backwards in England. And so she looked left to make sure nothing was coming. And she was just going to step off the curb and somebody yelled her name. They went, Lori! And she turned around to see who it was. And she says, there was nobody there that she recognized. But she says she's sure glad whoever it was called her name up, because right that second a big truck went zipping by, and if she'd have stepped off the curb, she'd have been bumper food. Yep, she says, well, whoever it was that called her name, she'd like to thank him, but she doesn't have a clue. So anyway, she got herself some boots. She said the sizes were all weird, because the size she normally takes over here, she says, totally different. But she found a nice pair she got for hunting and brought them back with her, but she had a good time over there anyway. And, yeah. So anyway, that's the story of the Sin Girls. They, Anna's back to being Anna Sin, and Elka's Alka-Seltzer, and Lori almost became the front-end hood ornament for a truck in England. Anyway, that's the fun thing of life, right? But anyway, got my prescription filled. That's the word I've been trying to think of. Prescription, not subscription. Anyway, why the guy called it a script, I don't know, because it weren't like no play I ever saw. Plays have, John said, Sally said, exit stage left, blah, blah, blah. And Ross didn't say that. It just had a bunch of scribble on it. Matter of fact, when he wrote it for me and I looked at it and I said, sorry, Doc, I says, I can't read cursive. And he says, that's okay, son, I can't write it either. Oh, dear. Well, that's the life of a doctor, I guess. You never can read their writing. So anyway, I went home, and good news was Doc's office down in the urologist, the guy's a smilologist and urologist. Yeah, his office called and they said that, yeah, I did indeed have a kidney stone, but it was pretty small and I would pass it. So just to take the pain medication when the pain got too bad. But I had to go back down to Rexall and get a little strainer thing to pee in so that I'd know if I passed the stone. Well, darned if a while later I peed in that little strainer, and here was this little tiny thing. I couldn't believe it. And so I wrapped it up in a piece of paper, and I had Polygrip drive me back down to Bonneville to that ologist's office, and I showed that thing to him. I said, is that what I've... And he goes, yep, that's it. And I said, that little tiny thing has been causing me all this pain? And he goes, yep. I said, you gotta be kidding me. He said, nope. And I said, well, that thing's so tiny I can barely see it. And he goes, yep. But he says, that's what caused your pain. And he says, you've had one, you'll probably have more. Well, isn't that a joy to think about? And I said, that thing's so tiny. He says, yeah, but if you put it under a microscope, it looks like a little ball of razor blades. Ooh. Anyhow, so that's what was causing me the pain, and that's the story behind the drugstore trip. And did some catching up on the local gossip and who's doing what and where and when. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing about my little fun there. And so you all take care and remember, may your days be filled with sunshine, and may moonshine make your nights brighter. Alrighty, see you next time. Bye, y'all. Well, thank you, Cousin Ralph. We enjoyed that story, and yeah, there's a few little puns there that were kind of cool. And anyway, it's time for the Groaner of the Week. Well, this gentleman from California was out back east, visiting, doing some business in New York City, and he's having lunch in a restaurant. Couldn't find a table, and the waitress said, "Well, there's a gentleman over there eating by himself. Maybe you could join him." So the fellow walked over and politely asked if he could. And the guy, "Oh yeah, sit down." And they start talking. Where are you from? What do you do? Blah blah blah, all that stuff. And he, this is going back quite a few years, and the New York fella pulls a pocket watch out of his pocket and flips open the case. And says, "Oh, it's getting late. I'm gonna have to go." And the Californian says, "Oh, a pocket watch? Really? You're still using a pocket watch? Hey, you should see my newfangled thing I got." He says, "It's a nice wristwatch." He says, "Keeps perfect time. Never have problems with it. As long as I remember to wind it every morning when I get up, smack on. And it's handy. I don't have to pull it out of my pocket. And it's good." And the New Yorker says, "Yeah, I had one of them. I had a wristwatch. But unfortunately," he says, "I dropped it in the Hudson River about a year ago. But the amazing thing is it's still running." The Californian looks at him in shock, goes, "What? After a year of being in the river, the watch is still running?" And the New Yorker goes, "No, you idiot, the Hudson River is still running." There you go. That's a really bad crooner. I apologize. Hopefully you got more chuckles out of Cousin Ralph's story. So until Tuesday, when we do some more fun things in the kitchen, I hope you'll take care, stay safe, and God bless.